is going to be a very quick bit of revision for Year 8 Mathematics for the final year examination. We have quite a number of chapters to revise. There's chapters 1 to 6 and then chapter 9. And presently, a lot of the first two chapters are about algebra. So if you're having any difficulties with algebra, there's a good amount of resources that I've put online for you guys to work from. So just take a look at those resources that are already on Canvas. This is going to be a revision of chapter 3, some of the fundamentals in that chapter. This is not a definitive account of everything you're going to need to know, but it'll help clear up some misunderstandings, hopefully, about topics within this chapter. Here you go. What I'm going to talk about now is conversion of units. Now, when you're looking at the topic of length and perimeter, which is in your textbook on page 121, length and perimeter, which is what we're looking at now, we've got a whole section, a blue box at the bottom here about conversion of units. I would suggest that you understand how that conversion diagram works, and it's really something that you should actually learn off by heart, which I've told you before. So I'm going to go quickly over that, and then we'll discuss a little bit about perimeter. So with the conversion of units, I always start with the biggest one I can think of, which is kilometers, and then I write down, well, in kilometers we have meters. So I put down meters. And then I say inside meters we have centimeters. So I write centimeters. And then finally we write millimeters. So we go from kilometers to meters to centimeters to millimeters. So that's how we do that. And then we need to work out, well, how do we do our conversions? So what I do is I draw arrows going this way if we want to convert kilometers to meters, and then meters to centimeters, and centimeters to millimeters. And if we want to go the other way, millimeters to centimeters, we go the arrows in the opposite direction. So you need to remember how to do that, and then you just need to remember what you need to multiply to change kilometers to meters. And we know that when you see a K here, that stands for kilo. And whenever you see kilo or a K in front as a prefix, which is the letter that comes first, that means times 1,000. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply above this arrow by 1,000. So that will take us from our kilometers to our meters. Once you've gone kilometers to meters, so if I had like 2 kilometers, for instance, and I wanted to convert it to meters, I would have to multiply by 1,000. 2 times 1,000 is going to give us our new measurement of 2,000 meters. Pretty simple, huh? Once you've gone to the meters, then you've got to say, well, meters to centimeters. And you've got to remember that we're not going to be multiplying by 1,000 because there isn't 1,000 centimeters in a meter. There is how many centimeters? Yes, you guessed it, 100 centimeters. So we need to multiply by 100. And I'll give you an example of that change in measurement. Say I had 3 meters. What do I need to multiply to make that into centimeters? I have to look at the top of the arrow, times 100. So 3 times 100 is 300 centimeters. So that would be the new measurement. And then finally, when we're going from centimeters to millimeters, you need to remember that there is 10 millimeters in a centimeter. So you need to multiply by 10. So if I had 3 centimeters, or sorry, let's go 3 centimeters. If I had 3 centimeters and I wanted to change that into millimeters, I multiply by 10. And we know whenever you're multiplying anything by a multiple of 10 that's got zeros on the end, you just add a 0 to this measurement. So that would be equal to 30 millimeters. Pretty simple, huh? So that's how we do our conversions, going from kilometers to meters to centimeters to millimeters. If you need to go the other way, all you need to remember is that these numbers are the same on the bottom, but you'll be dividing by 10, dividing by 100, or dividing by 1,000. Okay? So going back the other way, our 30 millimeters, we need to change it to centimeters. you divide by 10, and you remember that you move the decimal place if you're trying to convert, if you're trying to divide by multiples of 10 by the number of zeros we have here. So when we move our decimal point to here, it becomes what we had originally was our 3 centimeters. So that's how you do your conversion of measurements. You need to remember this diagram. If you remember this diagram, you'll never have problems converting units. Now, why do we need to convert units? Very simply because later on when we do our perimeter problems, you are going to be asked to, quite often you'll be given problems with different units. You might have some sides that are centimeters, some sides that are millimeters, etc., etc. And if you don't know how to do those conversions, you will get the questions wrong. So that is how you do conversion of units. Sorry about that. Hope you enjoyed the video. Yep, give it a try. You will need to now go and do some conversion of units to make sure that you understand this concept. So use the textbook, chapter 3, to make sure that it all